a new path down there on the left. We had to put that one in so everything lines up with a new nether portal. Now we just have to remove the old path so people have the nice unobstructed view of the lava when they're—
Oh, what the f— Ay, caramba!
Hello there and welcome back to Roguecraft. You've caught me out dealing with my treasure hunting sickness yet again. I was out in the area collecting ice when I found a treasure map on an old shipwreck. What's a poor Gragore to do? Not hunt for buried treasure? That's just crazy talk, I tell you. I mean, just look at all these goodies. Wonderful, wonderful goodies. Anyway, we're back at the base, and it's time to do the full upgrade on the wool farm. So while I place the blocks, I'll go over the basics of how this farm works. We already have the looky-lookers in the ground to looky-look at the grass, and we just need to add the shocked emoji boxes on top to shock that wool right off the little sheepies. The looky-looker sees the grass has been eaten and gets all excited and sends a little of energy into the block behind it. That ignites the chili powder that's on top of the block, which sends a burst of spiciness into the shock box, which scares the sheepies so bad their wool comes right off. Of course, the shears inside the shock box help a little too. And here we see all the future employees of GGG Woolly Beasties Incorporated. Welcome to the team, my friends. Let's get you guys all dyed up and I'll show you to your cubicles.
2 hours later.
Sir, we're going to need you to actually eat some grass at some point. None of this works if you never eat the grass.
2 hours later.
Sir, we're really going to need you to eat that grass soon, or we'll have to start looking for your replacement.
2 hours later.
Please, sir, just eat the grass. Why won't you eat the grass? Everyone else eats the grass. What's wrong? But seriously, it's several hours later, and I have stacks of wool from all the other sheep, but for some reason, the lime green sheep hasn't eaten the grass once. Not once. I've fallen into that endless loop of checking the same things over and over and over and over, hoping I'll see what the mistake is, and there isn't one. It's just that this sheep is taking a really long time to eat some grass. No idea why, but maybe we'll do a server restart later and see if that solves it. Disgruntled employee issues aside, we now have a semi-fully functional wool farm for every color. Right now it's all feeding into one chest, but an auto sorter is on the to-do list. We're back out at the fortress taking a break from all the sheep wrangling, and I realized the quickest and easiest way for me to make this area semi-safe to work in is to literally lower the level of the walkways. Thankfully, the walkways are always 2 blocks thick, even at their thinnest point. So by doing this, I will fall out of line of sight from 90% of the blazes, and might possibly be able to take a breath every now and again, while I slowly work on turning this into a farm. You know, sometimes the best solutions are the simplest ones. Now I'll still have to slab off the parapets to— are those technically parapets? Either way, I'll have to slab off the walls to prevent the wellies from spawning up there. I don't know why, but the wellies really seem to enjoy being up on the walls where they can be knocked off, leaving no one with a chance to grab their skull. I mean, how thoughtless could they be, putting their lives in danger like that? Well, I'm having none of it. We're going to slab every wall around this fortress by the time I'm done. But working on the fortress isn't all about collecting skulls and dodging fireballs. It's also about making the pathways to places so people have an easier time getting around in the Nether. I know, bridging is boring, but beyond it being a basic necessity of early game travel, there is just something about doing these repetitive, grindy tasks that allows me to unwind from the real world. Sometimes I just log in and I'm not looking to think too hard or do a lot of mob fighting. Sometimes I just want to unwind while still accomplishing something. And if that something also helps others, well then that's just a bonus. And I know that it's simpler and easier to have stuff on the roof of the Nether, but traveling up there is just, it's boring. Yeah, it's safe, it's quick, but it's boring. There's just something I've always liked about these big open spaces in the Nether. It's all meant to be some horrific hellscape, but there's also an odd beauty to it all that I like. If you can make a bridge that allows you to see out into the Nether, well, that's a good thing. Of course, building tunnels that you can see out of leaves them vulnerable to being broken by ghast attacks, but damage to these bridges is surprisingly rare. You know, once they're actually built. But ghast attacks aside, now that we've established where the Nether portal is going to be, we can line the pathways up with it a little better. You can see the new path down there on the left, so I'm going to remove the path up here so it doesn't obstruct the view of the Nether from the new bridge. That way, everyone has a nice open view of course. One of the dangers of working in the Nether for too long at one time is you get a bit too comfortable, a bit too complacent. But because I know I'm eventually bound to do something foolish or stupid... Oh, well, hello there. Where was I again? Oh yeah. That is why I always carry a fire resistance potion on me when I'm in the Nether. Me and lava, we're old friends. But all these bridge supports are draining my supplies of even the most basic items like stone, so it's time to dig out the chunk below my base. Not only will this refill my empty chests, but will give me room to expand the base later on. At the moment, I know I'll be making at least 2 more levels to the base, one for all the wool and whatever mini farms I can squeeze in there, and the 3rd level will likely be a trophy room for all the mob heads I've been collecting. Below that, maybe some farms, I don't know. Our bases at spawn were meant to be just the starter bases, but the problem is once I've made a storage area, the likelihood of me moving that storage area anywhere else is extremely remote. So the reality is, this will be my base for the season, but it is at spawn, so I don't want to make it a big lag fest over here with a lot of farms, so it's a bit up in the air how far I will develop it. But there shouldn't be any issues with having storage or a trophy room here. And then I had a random thought about forming a land bridge / archway connecting the 3 hills in the center of all the bases at spawn. I know I keep mentioning how early in the season it is, but part of the reason I do that, which by the way it's now day 12 on the server, the reason I do that is there are so many things that need to be done that I literally run from one random thought to another, picking away at one thing and then another and finishing few of them. It's like having a list of 100 things that need to be done and not knowing which is the most important. I always comment on the squirrel moments in life, but that's how my brain works. It gets better later on in the season when supplies or basic infrastructure aren't an issue, but right now, I'm literally bouncing from idea to idea as time allows. I don't know if you saw it or not, but off to the right is a melon and pumpkin farm that Skellyrocker was nice enough to build for the community. As I finish up connecting these hills, that will end up being hidden by all the landscaping I'm doing now. But the main point and reason for this is it was decided that there would be one portal at spawn, and to keep it out of anyone's base, the best option for it was on top of this hill in the center of everything. So the land bridges allow us to build some pathing to and from the portal without having to walk through someone else's base to get there. I know. Oh God, he's in a boat. Don't tell me he's off looking for buried treasure again. But no. As much as I love looking for buried treasure, I thought it was time to try and find the Stronghold. This thought came to me in a dream where I asked myself, boy, wouldn't it be nice if I could fly? Weird, huh? And so with that goal in mind, we're off in search of the Stronghold. One of the good things about being on a world with large oceans is it makes it a little easier to find a Stronghold. Quicker, at least, as you can travel much faster this way. That last eye of Ender we tossed up showed the Stronghold was off to the south of where we were. I hate taking a chance on breaking these as I already broke 4, but we must be getting close by now. Okay, here we go. Oh, looks like it's back this way. We must be getting close, but... Oh, lost another one. Whatever, we must be getting close. I'll just find a spot somewhere in the middle here and just dig straight down.
2 hours later.
And just like that, we found the Stronghold. We absolutely were not down here digging for hours, just trying to find even a hint of it on the map. Nope, that never happened. Yes, I know, cheaty, but at this point, I just don't care. We have Stronghold. That's all that matters. And only 6 torches later, we found the Wiggly Worm Room. That has to be a personal record. Sometimes this room can take forever to find, even with the map on. I'm going to spend some time off-camera lighting this place up and gathering some more Eyes of Ender. But after a little prep and talking with the others, we should be on our way to hunting dragons and End City raiding. And I loves me some End raids. It's day 14 on the server, and I decided it's finally time to give the base a little more love. The chests in the storage room have been hanging in the air for several days now, so the least I could do is give it a floor. And part of sorting out what the first floor looks like will help me figure out where to put the item sorter for the wolf farm. I was thinking it might go up here on level 1, but there's so many chests that would be needed that it has to go down on level 2. And with that thought in mind, I realized I would have to be a crazy man to start building level 2 before I figured out what I was doing on level 1. You know, if this episode is making you think, wow, Gragore really overthinks everything, then all I can say to that is, yep. And what would a floor be without a ceiling to go with it? I'm using nether bricks here. I know most people don't like them that much as a building block, but I think they go really well with granite. One thing for sure, you can tell who the real Minecraft professionals are by who hops to place their blocks and who doesn't. It should be said that I really think granite is an underrated build block, especially when you use unpolished with polished. They're the same color, but the textures are so different that they really contrast well with each other, and, for some reason, nether bricks end up looking like a darkened, almost burnt version of granite when placed next to it. I think this pattern is working well with the even spacing that I'm working with. It's very easy to make mirrored patterns that look good with odd-numbered spacing, but you can still make even-numbered spacing look good if you play around with it a bit. And after a bit more work on the walls and ceiling, I think we finally have something worth showing off on level 1. I didn't show it last time, but you enter the base through the bonfire foundation right here. Climb down the ladder and you're in the storage area. I'm still figuring out the storage at this point. Some of these items will grow and some will shrink as I get my hands on shulkers or the inventory of available blocks keeps growing, but for now, it's looking pretty good. I think the floor turned out pretty well, and over here we have all the 2 tall flowers with a hidden water source at the base under here. And then back here, I don't know what we're going to do on the left, but back here we have all the furnaces. And over here we have the enchanting table with lots of storage for books and items I bring home from end raids. And here's the master bedroom with posters of all my favorite Minecrafters on the wall, with good old Smokey sitting on guard duty. In the floor, we have the up-down elevators, mainly for use when I feel the urge to mine out the chunk below the base. This will eventually go down to bedrock, but for now, this is as far as I've gotten. I'm not sure the elevators are going to stay over here, but that's where they are for now. This will probably move over to that little unfinished area, but I'm still thinking about it. Like the way the pattern of the ceiling worked out. And then back here we have the entrance to the wool farm. It's set this far away from the storage area, so I never have to hear the workers complain when I'm lounging around the base. For now, I'm still manually sorting the wool, but I should have the item sorter all sorted out in the next episode. But I think that's where we're going to have to end it today. I've been feeling a bit under the weather, and I can feel my voice giving out on me, so until next time, I've been Gragore, and this has been Roguecraft. Wherever you are or whatever you're doing, try and find a way to have fun. See ya!